2001, I would say 75% of the experiences that I really treasure about all these years would not have been possible without Spanish. And granted, you can get by with English in Mazatlan, you get by with English in Puerto Vallarta, but getting by is not the same as really enjoying the country that you're living in, your host country. And believe me, many years ago, I had given up on ever being mistaken for a native speaker. That's not going to happen, especially now. But I have had social interaction comfortably in many countries from Spain and throughout Latin America because of the Spanish that I do have. So to me, this is the number one investment. If you don't come away with anything else, the number one investment of your time, every minute you spend on this topic before you move abroad is going to be time well spent. And with that, I won't take any more of your time, Marco. I'll turn that over and you can take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Harry, Lee, for this introduction. Okay, so my name is Marco Telles, and I work for this company called Lengua en Cultura. This name stands for Language and Culture. And yeah, what Lee Harrison just told you is totally right. And not only that, not only can you actually enjoy a lot more living in a country, Spanish-speaking country, and socialize and make the best out of it, also, you can take a lot of advantages and avoid some hassles from being overcharged to not knowing where to get things, even from the simple, the most simple things that you wouldn't imagine. It's happened to me. I speak 5 languages today, but I remember that going to Germany and not being able to get exactly what I wanted to eat was a little bit frustrating. And so you don't want these kinds of things. You want to enjoy it, at the fullest. So there's an introduction in English. You can download this material. There's a mini course on how to get by, do shopping, and go to the doctor, work your way around in a Spanish-speaking country. So I'm not going to read the English part. And this is the very, very first part. But I would like to focus more onto this very quick and snappy phrases. I guess most of you might know some of this, but you might not. Those who don't know anything, I will be saying that, and don't be shy. Repeat after me. I cannot hear you because this is the way the platform works, but just try to repeat after me, see if you can do it. Buenos días, that is good morning. And then we have nos vemos mañana. That means see you tomorrow, okay? That is nos vemos mañana. Okay, try to repeat that after me. Buenas tardes, that's good afternoon. Hasta luego, that is goodbye or see you later. Then, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Repeat. Muchas gracias. That's thank you very much. These are magic words, snappy phrases that you can use, and then you're going to sound familiar and you're going to be enjoying it a lot more, okay? So at the end of this booklet, it's a 16-page booklet, there is a guide for pronunciation in Spanish. It's written as if it was in English for you to take a look later. But right now, enjoy it. See if you can walk with me, and let's use some of these phrases, okay? ¿Cómo te llamas? That means, what is your name? You can also say, ¿cuál es tu nombre? Okay, so that is a little bit more similar to Spanish, to English, when you say, ¿cuál es tu nombre? What is your name? Okay, but this is what people will most likely ask you. A native speaker will ask you for your name like that. ¿De dónde eres? You're going to get this question 100 million times. for sure. ¿De dónde eres? And that means where are you from? Even if they know that you're from whatever country, maybe the United States, because you speak English and sound American, they'll ask you that. But believe me, they're going to say it so fast that it's only one word. ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? You're going to use this a lot. So, but that means where are you from? ¿De dónde eres? Okay? Me llamo. That's very useful. Me llamo Marco. My name is Marco. Okay, so if you repeat that, me llamo Marco. This double L sounds like a strong Y in English between a J and a Y for Mexico at least. Llamo. Soy de. That means I am from. Okay, so if you say soy de, afterwards you will say Estados Unidos. That means I am from the United States. Okay, Estados Unidos. For example, if you're from the States, you can say soy de Canadá. Then there are more phrases like this. There's a whole bank of phrases for how much is it, how much does it cost, for example. But I want to go over a little bit with the most common and basic phrases for you. This is a very, very important question. ¿Cuánto cuesta? Okay, how much does it cost? How much is it? Because you need to know how much they are. And then there's numbers later on so that you understand when they reply back. 5, 20, 50, 5, 20, 50, whatever. Okay, so we're going to be repeating some of these quick phrases, but there's a whole bank. It's a matrix, and you can even create dialogues afterwards. You can use us, teachers at Lengua y Cultura, to develop a conversational level before you actually come to Mexico. ¿Cuánto cuesta? That's you've heard that. ¿Puedo probarlo? That means, may I try it? May I taste it? May I try it on? If you're shopping around for clothes or food or things that you want to try. ¿Acepta efectivo? That means, do you accept cash? There's also another section for acepta tarjeta, which means card. Do you take cards? In introduction, we say that many small towns or small shops in smaller cities in Mexico, they don't take anything else except cash. And that's why it's important to know how to say cash, efectivo. Me gustaría, try to say that, me gustaría pagar en efectivo. Okay, so that means I would like to pay in cash or con tarjeta, that's with card. Okay, there is another section saying, do you accept dollars? If you only have cash, or probably euros. Okay, there is a very important section for eating out. Me gustaría ordenar. That's enough to say, I would like to order, please. And if you want to go more practical and you use one of the teachers, they'll tell you exactly which words we can use in order to simply say one word and get by when you're at zero, when you're a beginner. You can say ordenar. You can always use the word por favor. Ordenar, por favor. Order, please. I would like to order, please. So try to repeat this with me. Me gustaría ordenar. And then you can add more things. Drinks, a table for two. In this case, una mesa, repeat, para dos, or tres, or whatever. A table for two people, right? But you can use just certain words that are going to be underlined in the bank of phrases for you, so that you know which phrases just convey the same idea without being too sophisticated. This is the nicest way. This is the nicest way of saying, I would like to order a table for two, please. ¿Puedo ver el menú? May I see the menu? If you can repeat this, ¿puedo ver el menú? Solamente queremos tomar algo. Try to repeat that, please. Solamente queremos tomar algo. Me gustaría una copa de vino blanco. But you can just say una copa de vino. That is a glass of wine. Okay? So it can be the vino tinto or the vino rojo. White wine, red wine, cerveza. The whole list of words is it's below. Okay? So let's go on to the next one. Please repeat. ¿Me puede traer la cuenta? That is, may I get the check? May I get my bill? Okay. ¿Acepta tarjeta? Do you accept card? Quisiera dejar propina. Propina means tip. And as a tip, as another kind of tip, in Mexico, it is common to leave between 10 and 15% of your check to the waiter. Just like in the States, it's between 15, 20, I understand. That's what it is in Canada, as far as I'm concerned. In Mexico, it is between 10 and 15. That's reasonable and very much expected. Like as I said before, this is how we're going to use it as a matrix to create short dialogues. I know this would be this would take a lot of effort for you. You're doing it on your own, but we have a special course for you that is this is just the introduction, and we have a course for you with 17 different sections for traveling, customs, banking, money, numbers, socializing, even dating, at the bar, at the cafe, at restaurants. So very, very quick phrases, and you can book it right here at on lenguaandcultura.com. Lengua y cultura. Y stands for and in Spanish. So if you take a look at this, you want to take probably a screenshot or a photo with your phone, or just write it down, copy, paste, etc. There's our social media right there. There's a WhatsApp number to connect quickly. Also, there is a live chat that you can use here on the platform. There is a call booth, all kinds of contacts. If you have been to the other conferences yesterday and before, you know that we have all this availability. So I'm going to go back now. I'm going to go to the beginning, so just to show you a little bit more of the whole thing. I wanted to give you an overview, a quick overview, get you speaking in Spanish, get you to say some phrases. I hope you did. I hope you you repeated after me. I know that if you haven't learned any Spanish at all, it might seem a little bit difficult, but I'll show you how this is actually going to work. If you take this material down, you will have a video explaining what the pronunciation is and how you can use it. You can download that video from the handouts that you have on the conference about Spanish. You have this PDF file. Well, this is a PowerPoint, but you have this on PDF, and there is also the audio. You can be reading the audio and listening to these words, the equivalent in English, and the pronunciation. Okay, for example, you read here, ¿Cómo estás? And you know that this means how are you because of the second column. And then you go on to the pronunciation again. ¿Cómo estás? Okay, so that you know how to ask in Spanish, how are you? All right. Of course, let me tell you this. This is going to sound just like one word in Spanish. When people speak to you, especially native speakers, talking in a normal speed, a regular speed, they're going to say, ¿Cómo estás? Okay, so that you need to bear that in mind. That is going to be just like one word in Spanish or in whatever language. It's gonna sound like that. ¿Cómo estás? Right? Not ¿cómo estás? It's two words. So these are the trainings that you're going to be taking if you take courses with us, not only on these phrases, but in general, how to do business in Mexico. It's language and culture. It's very important. Communication, body language, who greets who and in which manners, given a handshake. Well, today with the pandemic, it's nothing like that. But in regular, normal social settings and business settings, how people behave and what is not offensive. You don't want to offend anybody with either your body language, your tone of voice, your choice of words, all these things. We will teach you all that, along, of course, with the language, with phrases like this, very useful phrases. Okay, so if you haven't repeated, try to repeat that one. ¿Cómo estás? It's easier, it's faster. It means ¿Cómo estás?, which means how are you? Same as in English, we say, how are you? How are you? Just like one word, okay? Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Fine, thank you. And you? Okay. So if you want to repeat, that is bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? So if you go like that, people are going to say bien también. And you will probably start a short, quick conversation. Okay. Then we have the regular buenos dias, good morning, buenas tardes, buenas noches, etc. Maybe some of you already know this. This is very, very basic. But if we go on to some cultural matters, treatment is important, as I said. You need to know who is a señor, who is a señora, and who is a señorita. Oddly enough, in Mexico, a lady who's 60, 65 years old can still be a señorita, a Mrs., okay? Because it's politeness, it's sort of a respect, it's a code. You would not call someone young a señora because it makes them uncomfortable for some reason. Youth is important, especially for women. Even for men. Men, you say joven. You call men, you call a man at a restaurant, he might be my age, 45, 47. We still call them joven, young men. It's like that. That's culture. Okay, joven, that's a sound. Like a very strong H in English, joven. Okay. Mucho gusto. That is nice to meet you. It's very important to be polite and to be agreeable, nice with people. And then you can say where you're from. Mi esposo, my husband. My wife, mi esposa. This is what we are pointing here. Okay, and then if you go on, let's go on to next page. Here, for example, there is a little bit of a shopping vocabulary. For example, quiero comprar. When you say quiero comprar, that means I want to buy, I would like to buy. And then you just learn the names of the things, okay? Quiero comprar una camisa, a shirt, okay? And all these things, if you learn them, you're going to be very effective in communicating. Just like this is the very first approach, like just like Lee Harrison said, it's getting by. But then you go deeply. We have a longer program that we can either we can adapt it to you, to your learning style and everything, or we can use just the regular program that we have. We based our teaching on the common European framework of reference. And wherever you go, either you go to Argentina, Spain, or Latin America, the three variants, you're going to master them if you take the longer complete program with us. But this is the quick crash course. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can also chat here with me. You can raise your hand. You can also ask me questions here on the chat if you're on WebEx. There is a chat on your right hand below, and you can ask questions. I'm going to be sending the email. Well, actually, I showed it to you before, but I can show it again. It's there. We have an email, we have a WhatsApp, we have a live chat here on the platform. We have also the website lenguaycultura.com, etc. So let's go on. Let's go back to this.
Marco, if you want to field a question, there's a question came up in the chat.
Oh, really?
And I can tell you, this is the most frustrating question for a brand new language learner.
Okay.
And it's one of the most difficult questions for a native speaker to answer. But what they say is, can you give some guidelines on the use of tu versus usted when you first meet someone working with contractors, etc.? So
excellent question. Excellent question. Perfect. Yes. Okay, so we're responding to this question. Thank you for asking this question. I think it was Ivor Juster. Yeah, the use of usted is reserved usually for business settings, for someone who you would address as sir or madame. So in English, and let's say in the United States, a big boss, an official, probably a police officer that pulls you over, you want to start with usted and say señor or señora, usted. That's very important. But then we Mexicans are very friendly, and we become friends very quickly. I mean, this is very normal. This saying "mi casa es tu casa," my house is your house. It's very true. I mean, we really mean it once we get to know you and we become familiar. Then you can start using the tu form. Okay, so just the first few interactions. You don't have to learn the whole system of usted and tu. Just the first few interactions. After a few encounters, you can definitely switch to. You can always ask. You can always ask. Puedo hablar de tú? May I speak in the tu form? And then they will say, oh, sure, please, because it's very common. It's very common that people prefer that you use the tu form because it's more, it's easier, it's more comfortable. So yeah, this is what it is. So anyway, there's another question here. Do you provide online courses and what is the cost? Yes, definitely. We actually provide online courses via Zoom, which is very similar to WebEx. But then we can record the class and we can send you the video afterwards, and you can separate the audio and put it on your iPhone or somewhere. While driving, you can listen to the conversation. You can also see the notes, all this chat that is created. We can send it to you on a pages or Word document, things like that. What Spanish language companies offering group live courses in different Mexican cities would you recommend? Okay, very good question too. So face-to-face lessons. As concerned in Mexico City, there's Lengua y Cultura, of course. There is International House too. Right now, everybody's closed except for us and UNAM, a couple of places in the city run by the National University, UNAM, and us, Lengua y Cultura, face-to-face. And about other cities, it depends a lot on the city. There are some in Puerto Escondido in Oaxaca. There are some in Guanajuato. There are some in San Cristobal, recommendable. And where else? And there's an in Querétaro state as well. In Puebla, there's a very good one. I think it's called Live It. I don't know them very much, but I've heard very good things about that school. There's some blogs that mention these schools, and we have partnerships in different places around the world, in Guatemala, etc. But sister schools, I must be honest, we don't have many, but we can do some research for you. If you give us an email, send us an email, we can send you some information. We will ask them the proper questions about, what they, how they do it, their approach, their materials, if they're, efficient enough. We are very conversational. We know that grammar, reading, and even understanding, you can do a lot on your own. Duolingo, etc. You can learn a lot on your own, but developing fluency, conversational skills is a different story. And we, Lengua y Cultura, specialize at that. Keep that in mind. We are conversational. We make you speak. We have very good techniques. This, what I showed you, is a completely different thing because it's a quick different thing, but we have a system and we have a curriculum, we have materials, and we have all kinds of techniques to have you speak. Hablar, 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 hablar. Speak, speak, speak. Okay, so there's another question from Shelly. What is the tolerance for mispronunciation accent? Oh, great question too. As long as it is understandable, as long as it doesn't change the meaning, the tolerance is very, very high in terms of linguistics, in terms of technical phonetics, and especially because Mexicans are very patient. We are very, very patient, very friendly. We never get frustrated. We always try to help, and you'll see it. If you haven't traveled in Mexico, you haven't experienced this, but seriously, if you have, whoever has, you know that you try to speak in Spanish, and if they don't get it the first time, they still listen and they try and all that. So technically, if it doesn't change the meaning, then it's totally acceptable. That's a very, very big range of flexibility. For example, if you say, quiero pagar, or te quiero pagar, which means I want to pay you, right? Te quiero pagar. I'm going to put this into capitals, pagar, which is I would like to pay you. I would like to pay. That's very important in terms of pronunciation with the vowel sounds. Vowel sounds, as we have in this booklet at the end of on page 15, they never change. They never change the sound. So this is going to be always a, pagar. I've heard this mistake, te quiero, and listen to this, because they pronounce like in English. This a sound as pegar, te quiero pegar, and that means I want to hit you. I want to hit you. This is the kind of thing that you should not do. So as long as you keep your vowels straight and pronounced correctly, then it's totally safe. It's no problem. Okay. So
many years ago, when I was first learning, I tried to tell a young lady I had said something because I misunderstood what she was saying, and I think she was a little bit embarrassed.
Wow.
And I meant to say that I didn't mean to embarrass you, and what I ended up saying, and Marco will understand how they make this mistake, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
And it turns out those words really weren't the same between Spanish and English like I thought they were. So
yeah.
It was such an obvious gaffe that nobody took offense, but of course 20 people overheard me say it, so I Was teased about that for a long time.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure they've never forgotten that. Like, whoa, okay. Yeah, exactly. So there are false cognates or false friends, words that look and sound similar in English and in Spanish, but they don't mean the same. So we need to be careful about that. And the vowel sounds. These two things are very, very important to, when it comes to pronunciation tolerance. And yeah, like I said, in Germany, for example, if you don't pronounce it, nearly perfect, then they don't want to listen to you. They don't want to try a second time. Like, das verstehe ich nicht. They say, well, I don't understand. That's it. And so but that doesn't happen in Mexico. In Mexico, people are very patient, very friendly, and and you won't have much of a problem if you stick to using your vowel sounds. For example, here, let's say, me puede. It's always u, always e, and always a. Me puede traer a e. All this is never going to change if vowels never change. And then these false cognates, for example, what you said, embarrassed does not mean embarazado. That means pregnant, and things like that. Yeah, so that's answering those three questions. And yeah, like I said, we are very happy to have the opportunity to give you this presentation. Thank you very much to Live and Invest Overseas. And whoever's interested, there is our website, all our contact details here. If you want to take a note. I don't know if we're running out of time. I think, yeah, we're over with our 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So we probably should hold the questions there. But anybody has any additional questions for Marco, please contact him through the virtual exhibition hall. Also, if you're interested in the more in-depth courses, in conversational courses, things like this, please get in touch. And I can vouch for this personally, is that I studied a lot of Spanish on my own before I ever I moved to Ecuador. Before I went there, and I could write really well. But when I tried to interact with somebody in person, once I got there, I couldn't survive, So I could write things because you can sit there and think about what you're going to say, and you can look up a word on a response if you need to. But there's no substitute for that real interaction. And that's what really will polish you off and make you functional and make all that vocabulary worthwhile. Anyway, thank you very much for being with us today, Marco. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope we get to see you again at future events.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Lee, and thanks everybody. Bye-bye now.